There's new fallout, political fallout from the recent charges in Michigan's fake elector investigation. Another Republican who's been charged is speaking out right now.
The Secretary of State just stripped Stanley Grot of all his election-related duties as Shelby Township Clerk. Paula Tutman caught up with him soon after. And Paula, what's the clerk saying about all of this?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to say that these are really fast-moving developments, and they really could signal the falling of some pretty big dominoes for Stan Grot. This afternoon, in a phone conversation with Stan Grot, the Shelby Township Clerk for the last decade. Can I put you on the record, and may I record our conversation?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Grot responds to being stripped of his duties as clerk to administer, oversee, or participate in municipal elections until further notice.
I intend to abide by the instruction.
1,600 municipal clerks in the state of Michigan, and it has only happened 10 times for the most egregious behaviors that threaten the sanctity of the vote during the tenure of Jocelyn Benson. Today, the Michigan Department of State and the Secretary of State's office stripped Shelby Township Clerk Stan Grot of any duties relating to elections. The letter issued to Grot this morning lists the 7 felony charges levied against Grot and 15 other Michiganders for alleged election fraud that amount to up to 80 years in prison if convicted of an alleged fake elector scheme to steal Michigan's votes from Joe Biden and to illegally give them to Donald Trump in the 2020 election.
I have done nothing wrong, and I intend to prove that in court.
The letter stating that the charges fundamentally undermine voter confidence in the integrity of elections. Therefore, in order to ensure public trust and confidence in the integrity and security of elections, the letter goes on to say, I am instructing you to refrain from administering any elections held in Shelby Township while these charges are pending against you.
And obviously you want public officials that are honest in trying to do the best for the people of the district, not themselves.
The main job of an elected clerk is to protect the sanctity of the vote. Clerks take an oath to uphold the Constitution and to pledge an allegiance to the voting process, whether they agree with the outcome or not.
Well, it's deeply concerning because this does involve the results of an election that we as election folks administered here in the state of Michigan.
The domino effect goes straight to credibility and Grot, who oversaw previous elections. Chris Swope is the Lansing clerk and former president of the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks, which will be meeting next week to discuss stripping Grot of his membership and privileges.
I think it is a good idea to take a moment and review actions that he may have taken, decisions that he may have made.
Yeah, you know, in the final analysis, this raises questions for people, and it means that some are at least showing interest in questioning some of the elections that Grot administered in the past. Not so much, and this is important, not so much as to say that anything he may or may not have done could have changed the final outcome of elections, but they do want to look into some of his past practices in administering some of those elections. By the way, the new deputy clerk of Shelby Township has been named as interim clerk. There are no elections right now, not until 2024, but that is the person who will administer any of the elections until further notice, guys.
Yeah, so many layers to this story. Paula, we appreciate your update.